Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is such a fun video. We're talking Christmas here. We have some Christmas palettes to go over, and this is a fun one because Oden'S is actually bringing back the super popular Christmas palettes from last year. I feel like everyone has been asking for these back, and they are coming back I think one time only. This will be the last relaunch of them. And they also made two new Christmas palettes as well. So we are going to be going over, trying out the new palettes, talking a little bit about the relaunch as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So these are all relaunching on November 10th. And let me go ahead and show these if you guys didn't miss out on them last year. So we have the Oden'S Merry Christmas eyeshadow palette, which looks like this. Absolutely stunning, rich, saturated, so easy to work with tones. I feel like these were on everyone's top favorite palettes of the year last year. They were very popular, and I feel like in every Instagram post, people are asking for these back. People are really upset about it, that they were so limited, but I guess it's important to remember with holiday collections, they're not going to be around all year. But I guess these did only launch like one time. I don't think they ever did restock them. So if you want them, now is the time to grab them. So this is the Merry Christmas palette. I will insert the swatches for you. This is so just vibrant, colorful. There's gorgeous greens in here, a few reds, pinks, so fun. I actually wore this palette on Christmas, and I do have a YouTube shorts with this one if you guys want to see a fun look that I did. I did not film much content when these palettes came out because when I received them, it was super late. They had already been sold out, so it was kind of like pointless for me to make a bunch of content on palettes that were kind of sold out and not restocking. So that's why I don't have a lot of content on them, and I honestly haven't used them a whole lot, but they are very beautiful and easy to work with. And then we also have the Christmas Eve palette. This one I feel like it's a little bit more neutral. You have some blues, purples, there's some greens in here as well. Such a pretty one. I don't think I have a shorts video on this one, but I have worn this one a couple times. This color story is a little bit more up my alley than the Merry Christmas one, but both of these are absolutely beautiful, great quality eyeshadow palettes. Now let's talk about these new Christmas palettes, which I think are the cutest. I honestly might even like these better than the originals, just because these are definitely more up my alley. First we have Hey Reindeer, which looks like this, and this one I feel like feels like just winter. It's like a winter wonderland to me. I love that it has these kind of desaturated blues, purples, there's a little pinks in there. It's very wearable, almost pastel colors, which I love. Pastel like looks, especially in the winter time. It just reminds me of snow. So pretty. So I really absolutely love the color story in this one. I will go ahead and insert the swatches for you as well. And we also have this one, which is the Snow Dream palette. I honestly kind of wish that these two had switched the packaging, because I feel like the Snow Dream reminds me more of the Hey Reindeer. Like this one gives me winter forest vibes. This one gives me winter wonderland. So I feel like the packaging and names should have been switched on these. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but it's so damn cute. Oh my gosh, the packaging, the gingerbread, they really killed it with this packaging. And then this has a lot of just desaturated greens. Like I said, it reminds me of like a winter wonderland forest with the greens in here. It does have a bright pop of red, but I feel like both color stories incorporate like a little bit of Christmas without overly red and greens. Both of them give off such pretty winter snow vibes, and I am here for it. But yeah, love the Snow Dream palette. This color story is probably my favorite of all. It's just so beautiful. All of these palettes are going to be $43.90. So again, launching on November 10. You should be able to use codes on this one. My code is Leah Janae for 10% off, and I will have the links down below. So yeah, we're talking about this just a little bit early. I'm so excited for this launch. This is definitely one you're going to want to hop onto, because I do hope that they have enough stock, especially in these relaunches. Just with how popular they were, I don't see any of these restocking since they are such a limited Christmas time collection. But yeah, it did say that this will be the last time that these are restocking. I'm not sure about these, but if any of these you're wanting, I would just go ahead and grab them. So that is a first look at these new Christmas palettes and relaunches from Oden'S. I did do two looks with the new ones, one with each. So let's go ahead and get into that. So the first palette we're gonna play with today is the Hey Reindeer eyeshadow palette. This one is pretty colorful, so let's see what we can do with it. I think I wanna go for a fun blue, kind of icy look. So I'm gonna take the shade Cider, which is this pastel blue, and place this in the intersection of my crease. This is pretty light, but you can definitely pack it on. It looks almost like a bright white with a tint of blue to it. With that same brush, I'm gonna take the shade Ivy, which is a little darker of a blue. It's more kind of aqua colored, and just kind of placing that here in the outer half of the eye. Next color we're gonna take is Holly. It's kind of this grayish blue, and I'm placing this in the outer corner, like a cornflower kind of shade. So we're kind of keeping this a little more monochromatic, which is what I typically like to do with color. So just using all the blues. I'm gonna take that same color a little bit on my lower lash line. Just kind of going halfway here. And then we'll dip back into Ivy and kind of do that in the other half of the eye, blending those together. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of this Bells, like silver color. It's like a silvery smoky purple almost, and just kind of place this here in the middle for some shimmer. That is beautiful. I like that it's not like over the top dark, so it still keeps the look pretty bright. And then I'm gonna actually take the shade Christmas Ham. Interesting name for this kind of white color. This one looks more white, but it actually shows up more pink, and it's a little chunkier, so really try to smooth this one out. And I'm bringing a little bit more of that pale blue that we use just to keep things really bright here. But yeah, I was expecting that color to look a little bit more, I don't know, pearly on, but yeah, it's definitely very kind of pink toned. For this look, I'm definitely popping on some white eyeliner. All right, let me clean this up and I'll show you guys the finished look. So here's the final look using the Hey Reindeer palette. This look I feel like is giving such kind of frosty winter snow fairy kind of vibes. I love it. I just feel like it's so ethereal, so icy and pretty, and definitely gives me kind of wintertime, snow is falling feels. Let me know your thoughts on this look. I'll try to link all the products on my face in the description box, but that is my look with the Hey Reindeer palette. Now let's get into the Snow Dream palette. All right, for the Snow Dream palette, I'm loving kind of the icy greens in here, so I kind of want to do something with that. Plus I have green on today, so let's do a fun look. For this look, I'm going to go ahead and start with this green. This is called Ornament. It's kind of like a muted olive green. And placing this all in the crease. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of this brown. This one is called Feast. And kind of place this in the outer corner. Next, I'm going to take this kind of limey light green. This one is Mary. And place this on the middle of the lid. And then I'm going to dip into this kind of champagne sparkle. This is called Hugs. And place this in the inner corner. Such a beautiful shade. I am going to take a little bit of this pale pastel green. This is Snowflake. And I'm just putting a little bit of that in this inner corner, just to really keep that bright. Just right above the crease. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go ahead and use Feast again. Just kind of blending this along And then I'll take a little bit of Mary as well and just kind of blending that from the inner corner into the middle. So we'll have a little bit of glitter fallout here, but I will clean that up with some concealer. So no worries. I'm going to do white eyeliner again just because I love it with these kind of icy, wintry looks. Then I'll be right back with the rest of my makeup. And here is the final look. I think this is so pretty. It's like natural. We got some greens going on and it's not like too colorful, too out there. I feel like it definitely fits like a winter forest kind of theme. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into my thoughts so far on everything. So testing out these new palettes, I am very pleased with these. For my preferences, I actually like these even better than the older Christmas palettes. The older Christmas palettes, these are very saturated, extremely pigmented, and they create some deep, very beautiful, colorful looks. These new palettes definitely lean a little more pastel, which I actually really love. They're still the great quality. They give off the color that is in the pan. They're just a lighter wash of color, if that makes sense. And I love that. I feel like it's a little bit more wearable for me. I do prefer my colors to not be super rich, intense. I do like these more kind of washes of color or desaturated kind of colors. I feel like this is beautiful because then you can really play up the shimmer on the eyes, which I'm all about the sparkle and the shine, and these shimmers do not disappoint. So I am really loving these so far. I honestly feel like my favorite one is this Snow Dream palette of all four. This is my must-have. I love this. I feel like you can do a little bit more neutral looks. There is still some rich pigments in here as well, and I just love the whole color scheme of this. The shimmers, oh my gosh, so stunning. This green we used, I love. This silver looks so pretty. I can't wait to do a look with that. And I honestly feel like you can definitely mix and match these palettes as well. I do think that all four palettes offer something a little bit different. Every color scheme is unique. I've even kind of compared them to other Oden'S palettes in my collection, and I do feel like these do stand on their own. There's nothing that looks too similar. I feel like they're always really good about their color stories and not duping, you know, too much in their own line. But yeah, I think like if you're wanting these more kind of desaturated, kind of almost pastel leaning tones, definitely check out these new palettes. But if you're looking for something a little more rich and deep, I think you'll like the older ones. But yeah, all four are really great, amazing quality palettes that I really love from Oden'S. Let me go ahead and just like do some comparisons while we're here. Here is the Merry Christmas palette compared to the Angelica Trick or Treat palette. These two for me did give off a little bit of similar vibes for sure. I also wanted to compare the Salmaine 2 palette next to the Hey Reindeer palette. That is what these two look like next to each other. This is the Angelica Little Ghost palette compared to Hey Reindeer. I do feel like the Little Ghost is a little bit more intense and rich, while the Hey Reindeer is definitely a little bit more like pastel leaning, a little bit lighter in tone. Also wanted to show Jules and Gem, one of my favorites, next to Hey Reindeer. This is also what it looks next to the Snow Dream. And then here's what Stone and Rock looks next to Snow Dream. Definitely Stone and Rock has a lot more greens in it. I ended up trying to swatch these next to each other and they did not really compare at all. It was actually really hard to compare, but there is like some similar tones going on, but they're definitely different when it comes to the tones and full colors inside. And then lastly, I wanted to go ahead and compare the Oden'S eyeshadow palette. This is one of their older ones. I feel like not a lot of people have that, to the Christmas Eve eyeshadow palette, because I feel like these are the most similar probably in my collection. I do kind of feel like Christmas Eve is kind of an updated version of the Oden'S, even though I know they did make a new Oden'S like palette. They made, I think, in these squares, not in the circles anymore, but these do really remind me so much of each other. So just thought I would do that little comparison within the Oden'S range. Again, I do feel like you know, they're really good with their color stories. All of these do seem to be a little bit different. None of them really match up exactly, but there is definitely some similar tones going on with some of the palettes. But yes, I think that's going to complete this video talking about all the new Oden's Christmas palettes. I'm so excited about these. I could see myself definitely reaching for these a ton this holiday season. Let me know down below which one is your favorite out of the old palettes and also the new ones. I'm so curious to know. I'm in love with these new ones. I feel like they're so stunning, especially this packaging. It's just, it's definitely my vibes. Anyways, again, a link is down below if you guys want to check these out on November 10th. I'll try to do a reminder when these do launch, but thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.